me reveal the differences between the Polish steam buns and the Chinese. As a kid, I was sick, and me and my mom, we had to be driving back and forth to the town nearby to where was my hospital. And every time we stopped in the town, my mom, she was buying me those steam buns with the amazing hunter stew gravy. And this is the best memory I ever had. If you want to reveal how the Polish steam buns are made, just keep watching. We're going to start first with the hunter stew because it takes a longer time to make. So this is the pork shoulder without the bone. So I'm just going to cut this in smaller pieces of a lot of those kind of like a fatty, grainy stuff. I don't want basically this to have like a bite-sized size. I have a 2.5 pound of pork, and depends on how much meat you want. This is how much gravy you're going to have. So for that, I am going to add two garlic cloves. Garlic is in. Now we're going to add a pepper. The last thing is going to be a salt. To add too much of the salt because we can always recheck the gravy, and we can add more when the gravy is going to be almost ready. Mix now. Now let's leave that so it gets a little bit of the spices on. We also need onions. Let's cut that. Third of the onion. Okay, so pan is ready. I'm doing my gravy in a Dutch pan. It's so much better to keep the temperature controlled. Oily stuff, I use a little bit of the avocado oil, maybe like a tablespoon of avocado oil. Also add my favorite ghee. It's Fourth and Heart Company. I'm going to link this. And that one is ghee with Hawaiian pink salt. And like a tablespoon of ghee. Yes, I fried my meat before I start any gravy. This way I'm going to lock every juice, and whatever is in that meat is going to give that amazing flavor. So let's put the meat in. Make sure you do not overload your pan with the meat because you want to fry it, but you don't want to steam it. So the meat is fried on both sides, but I still have a lot of meat left. So what I do, I pull out this fried meat into a separate bowl, and don't worry, it doesn't need to be fried all the way, just fried on both sides. So you just see the golden color. And now let's add the rest of the meat in. Okay, so my meat is all fried. Now I'm going to fry my onions, but for that I need a little bit more of the grease. So I'm just going to add like a tablespoon more of the ghee. And I like that color. See that nice burnt, not burnt, but goldish color. This is what we like to have it on the bottom of the pan. This is the flavor for your gravy. Let's add the onion. The onions are ready. I don't want to fry too much of my pan. Glaze it. I have hot water. I'm just going to add a little bit just to deglaze my pan. The beef, you can add red wine. I have a pork. I don't like the red wine with pork gravy. And actually the real Polish hunter stew didn't have any wine in it, so just This is why I am not adding any wine. This is a traditional Polish hunter stew gravy. And see, all of this, it's coming. No more anything stuck to my pan. Everything is nicely deglazed. We're going to add all of this back, and there's some juices on the bottom. So add everything so you do not lose the taste. This juice has a taste of that meat. There we go. I'm going to add more hot water. We put a medium temperature on, and we're going to cover our pan. Covered, and then we're going to add more things to it. Meat is getting ready. So we're going to prep the stuff for the hunter gravy. I'll tell you why we call it a hunter gravy. It's because it used to be done by the hunters. So the hunter gravy means that you add whatever you hunted for. So, or whatever you have around you. So it's for my gravy, I'm going to add a few things, but the main gravy had always mushrooms, and the mushrooms picked up in the woods in Poland. So we always went to the woods to pick up our mushrooms, and we dry our mushrooms. And actually I do have mushrooms from Poland. I always bring them when I go to Poland. So those are those mushrooms. They are dry. So to make them ready for the stew, I'm going to add them into my bowl, and I'm going to add a warm water into it. Water over here, so I'm just going to add that hot water. So they're going to soak in. So those mushrooms, actually my dad picked up in the woods, and they dried them in their house. Let's put them on the side. Another thing that this hunter stew has is the pickles, but those pickles are the pickles in the brine. Stew is going to be having a balance between salty, sweet and sourness. To cut them in small cubes. And one thing, in Polish house we always have cucumbers, pickled cucumbers, and sauerkraut. Those are two things that Polish house always has, and because you can do anything. Other thing I'm going to add is the bell pepper. So I prepped that bell pepper last week. I left it in my swirling container. So let me cut that pepper in smaller pieces. So I like to prep a lot of my stuff before I add them. So those are the red peppers. Right, let's see how the meat looks like inside. There we go. The meat is ready. So let's add our stuff into it. Cucumbers and the peppers. And like you could notice that when I added the water, I did not add any extra salt. It's because pickles in brine are salty. The smell, it's like home. Let's add our mushrooms. Added water because just in case I need more taste of the mushrooms into my gravy, I can always add that water into. Let's cover and leave it for a little bit longer. Let's go back to our gravy. Whew. Oh my god, it smells so good. So now I'm going to try the taste, if I need to add a salt, if I need to add some pepper, and also if I need to add a little bit more of that water from the mushrooms, and also to make it more sourish, I also adding a little bit more of the juice from the pickled cucumbers. So holy, that is so good. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more of that water. One thing, the meat should be nice, and see how nice and soft it is. Whew. Touch of that water from that juice to make some gravy. For making that as a gravy, we need to add flour, and I always add a little bit more. So I added like a really huge 2 tablespoons of the flour. Flour we are going to mix with the water. Make sure you do not have any of crumbs over there or any kind of buildup of the flour. It needs to be a smooth consistency. See, it's a little bit chunky, so I need to still mix it. So let's add our mixture. Don't add the whole thing. And now let's mix it. We're going to thicken it up. All right, our gravy is ready. It's time to make our steamed bun. I have over here 150 ml of warm milk. And again, I keep repeating it, it's warm milk because I don't want you to get that too hot and kill your yeast. So to that, we're going to add like very small tablespoon of the sugar, and we're going to need our yeast. We are going to add like 1.5 tablespoon of our yeast. Over here I have 300 grams of the flour, and it's all-purpose flour. I'm going to add like 2 tablespoons of that flour in here, and I'm going to mix that well. So the yeast is mixed with the flour and the sugar. Let's cover it and leave it on the side so it dries. Finish up our steamed buns because my yeast is almost running out. Look at that. We had 150 of, so we had 150 ml of the milk. Now it will rise up to 500 ml. So this needs to go to our flour. So now we are going to add 3 egg yolks. This we're just going to mix it a little bit more. Let's mix a little bit. We're going to add a pinch of salt. Melted butter, it's 25 grams of melted butter into it. I'm going to add more milk because mine is not thick enough, it's kind of heavy. I'm going to move my dough on that prep mat. It's going to be so much easier for me to mix it, but I'm going to save that bowl so I can leave my dough to rise in this bowl. Work it out. This is what I'm looking for. The dough like that. It's cover your dough with either towel or plastic foil, or like me, I love the shower cups. So our dough rise up. So I'm going to pull it out. Work on it again, because this dough actually we cannot have too much of a bubble space, but we want it to be fluffy. This in smaller pieces, so something like this. So it depends on how big you want. You can cut them bigger or smaller. We need to form the rolls. Just put your hand on and just tightly roll them. And you can do this on both hands. It's going to be so much faster. They're all ready. Cover them and leave them to rise. Okay, so my buns are getting bigger. I cut the small pieces of parchment paper, so they're going to be steamed on them, so they're not going to get stuck to my steamer. And what I'm doing, I'm just putting one of them on the parchment paper and I'm flattening it, so it doesn't go up this way. It will go nicely on the sides and up. So I have water over here. I started boil it. The only thing is, for the steamer, don't put all the way up the water. Just make sure it's like 1/3 of it. You don't want to have too much and you don't want to have not enough. So put our steamer on and we're going to leave this until it starts steaming. This steamer is ready. So let's put our buns into it. Make sure you have a space between. I'm going to put only 4. I'm going to keep this for at least 12 to 15 minutes. It's ready. Let's see what we have. Let's put it all together. The sauce. Here you go. The delicious Polish steamed buns. So what's the secret between the Polish steamed buns and the Chinese? Chinese are usually filled with the meat inside. Polish are just soaked with the delicious gravy. And if you want, you can even make them on a sweet side with some fruits or anything that you like. Highly recommended. And oh my god, cannot wait to try them. Just soak them into that gravy, because that's the best thing ever. Guys, this is my childhood. I highly recommend. If you like Chinese buns, you need to try the Polish buns. Have a great day and let me finish the dinner. Bye guys.